This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the Academy for Scholastic and Personal Success, Eric Thompson and Dr. Ruth White. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Got some fundraising events to fund the Academy's programs coming up, including a couple of concerts featuring a great friend of ours, Ray Blue, and we'll talk about that as we move along. But before that, let's talk a little bit about the Academy and its programs. How long has the Academy been around, Ruth?
Happy to. 31 years. I'm both happy to say that and kind of dismayed at the same time because the issues that spurred the Academy's origins are still
here.
Still here.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how it came together and about the programs today.
Well, to go back and not take too much time, when I was working at Washington High School, actually teaching, I had a job called academic advisor to minority students, which required me to track students' progress. The idea being that they needed to be tracked because students weren't doing as well as their white counterparts. And so that gave me the impetus to organize a summer program just for students of color to get them revved up, so to speak. Students who were totally capable of doing better than average academic work who were not doing it needed to understand why that was important. So the Academy really operates on two parallel tracks, one being culture. You have to know who you are in order to go forward. And the other being academic. We're going to give you some rigorous academic training. And so that's really what it is. It has to be sited on a college campus so students can see what that looks like. And at the end, if everybody behaves, then we get to go traveling.
And Eric Thompson, you're on staff at the Academy, known more here within the halls of KCCK as one of the outstanding drummers and musicians in Iowa and around the country. And you're a Washington grad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember remember the Academy when you were in school?
I do, but only because I wasn't smart enough to be in it, and that's the literal truth. I do feel though that had I been a little bit more coherent and with the opportunity to go back in time, its value serving as the director and Dr. White's number two, the cultural and academic value that then expands into the community is priceless and academically worthwhile.
Ruth, you remarked that it feels unfortunate at some level that 30 years gone, the programs, the need that began the Academy is still here. Are the programs, have they changed, morphed? Are they different today than before or still similar?
Well, they're still similar, but there have been some changes. We teach three kind of core courses, a combo of literature and history, a combo of math and science, and then the most recent addition is a course called Post-Secondary Seminar, which means how do you get to college? What are the nuts and bolts of that? And then we do a seminar midweek to teach students how to talk to one another. We do films and speakers on Fridays through a collaboration that we have with Co., and that's recent. Or the films and speakers have always been on Friday, but we haven't always gone to Co. So it's essentially the same, but we've evolved. I'd say quite a bit with those little curricular shifts. We've greatly expanded our recruitment reach so that we're not focused solely on the metro schools anymore. We're taking students from the adjacent district as well, and including metro. So fundraising is always an issue, and we've really made some inroads into how we go about doing that as well.
Well, and with that in mind, you have a musical fundraiser coming up, a couple of them actually, on the 5th and 6th of March. Am I getting those dates right?
Yep.
So, and as I said at the top of the interview, our friend Ray Blue who has been, hugely supportive of the music community. Of course, his son is principal at or on the administrative staff at Washington High School. So he I'm sure hears firsthand. So, and Eric, you're going to be on that gig, right?
Yeah, I get the opportunity to play drums with Ray again, both nights. First night at CSPS Hall here in Cedar Rapids, and then second night, Friday night, at the Mill in Iowa City.
And you're kind of calling this a residency. Is Ray going to be doing anything besides playing those two concerts? Is he going to be involved in any interaction with students?
Yes, and you probably know Ray well enough to know that he is always eager and willing to
He'd be
interact with
disappointed
students.
if he
Yeah.
didn't get to come
Yeah,
and
that's
talk to
right.
people and do
That's
stuff.
right. So he is. He's going to be at the 3 Metro schools on Thursday ahead of the CSPS concert. And then on Friday, we're going to Johnson STEAM Academy because he has a special place in his heart for those little kids. And then out at Prairie.
And then also performing in Iowa City, yes?
Yes, at the Mill.
The Academy has been going, as you said, for just a little over 30 years. I'm sure that there are many stories of young people who've gone through this and have had life-changing experiences. And when I mention that, are there any that kind of come to mind of students who came in maybe who, later said, I never would have made it without this program?
Yes, and what really pops into my head is that we need to write a book because there are lots of them. And I don't know what the rules and regs are about mentioning people's names, but I don't think that anybody who I'm going to talk about would mind. The first person that pops into my head is Carl Cassell, who has been has become really a community leader and stalwart.
First African-American president of the Cedar Rapids Downtown Rotary.
Yep. Yes, and on and on.
Yeah.
And Carl was in the first Academy class, a hot-headed 17-year-old who knew everything and, pushed back but then came back again and again, and who, when we had our first fundraising event in 2006, I believe, went on record as saying, I wouldn't be the man I am today without that kind of guidance. And that's really what it's all about. I could also think of Dan Johnson in a different yet similar vein. Dan's got a program out at Prairie called Beyond the Bell, and he works with minority students as well. But Dan, again, I ask him if he remembers when I chased him down the halls at Washington High School, literally chased him down the halls, and he was trouble. And but now, he's a family man. He's got 2 or 3 jobs. He's an entrepreneur. And again, they all credit me, but it's not me. I mean, I'm there. But if we didn't have the staff that we have, we wouldn't be able to make the inroads that we do. And finally, I'll mention a young woman whose name is Doan Kabula. She is one of our African students who was in the program 2 or 3 years ago, earned a 4-point at Jefferson, and is now at Iowa State on a full ride. So those are the kinds of success stories that we like to point to. And I say, give me 5 kids, and I'll tell you whether or not 4 of them aren't capable of doing what these other people have done. So, it's a matter of having the will and the guidance and the wherewithal and all of that.
And the money, which leads us back
Yes.
into the events that are coming up, as Ray Blue is going to be in town for a couple of days to do some concerts on the 5th and 6th of March to benefit the Academy for Scholastic and Personal Success. And then you have a gala coming up later on in the spring, yes?
Yes, in May 7th. It'll be right here at Kirkwood, at the Kirkwood Event Center, Hotel and Event Center. And that gala is arguably our largest moneymaker. It's our largest event anyway, so it should be our largest moneymaker. The unique aspect of that event is that we select community leaders of color, and we give them awards, and they've all got different names. But the idea is to give people who have done well and done positive things in the community an opportunity to shine, an opportunity to be recognized. And Cedar Rapids is a town that doesn't have a very large minority population. And so to find or to have or to select this number of adult people who are then models and mentors for the students that we're talking about, I think makes this event unique. It's a different kind of fundraiser.
It's not too early to get your tickets for that event, I'm sure. And also, of course, to come and see Ray Blue either at CSPS Hall or at the Mill in Iowa City coming up on the 5th and 6th of March. If people would like to know more about any of these events or just the Academy's programs in general, what's your website?
The Academy SPS, but it must have the article, theacademysps.com.
Okay. Well, good luck with the Ray Blue Residency,
Thank
and come back and talk to us again maybe before the gala coming up in May.
Be happy to. Thank you.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:20, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture, or using your favorite podcast app. I'm Dennis Green. I'll talk to you later.